Okay, this should have started the streaming. And I'm just going to validate it by going and looking. YouTube. Does God exist? That's not the one I want. Okay. Pardon me, I'm just getting used to the way YouTube works in this context. Even though I've done it before, I don't remember exactly what I did. So I just need to validate that the stream is actually working. Even though in OBS it did indicate that the stream failed to create, even though it showed up as active in YouTube. Your videos live shows it's live. Excuse me. Okay. It looks to be active, so I will leave it at that and accept the way things are. Okay. So this live broadcast has got to do with, again, the aspect of belief in God and the reasons for such a belief. And I have this stream open, and I have provided the ability for people to actually contact me, which I actually have to start up, which I completely forgot to start up my communication software. I'm just going to do that now. Okay. Those Microsoft Teams. There. These are the two communication tools I use. One is a service to provide access to a toll-free number, and the other one, Microsoft Teams. Okie dokie. So, okay. So I have that up, so if anybody wants to connect with me and talk, that would be great. Anybody who wants to, join my channel, that would be great too. I'm attempting to build up a subscription base, mostly because I want to actually start to utilize the YouTube monetary aspect that's provided by the YouTube platform and that, and they require a 1,000 subscriber minimum activity before they'll actually start paying out compensation. So I'm asking anybody who wants to join to please join. That would be great. Okay, and if I get somebody to call up and join with me, that would be great. I just started this stream, so it's going to have to be people who actually see it running and decide to come onto it. That'd be great. My chat is running, so they can talk to me on chat if they want to and go that way. So again, I'm going through in the videos I've been doing lately just the aspects of the process of seeing what's been said. So I'm using, Google to do the search and just going through particular sites that actually talk about the concept of a God. And here's one: six reasons point to God's existence. So we'll go there. This is everystudent.com is the website. And we'll just see what they say about it. And I'm just going to read it out. And if you've seen my other videos, you're going to know that I have questions when I go through these articles on that. And it's just aspects of questions I think are completely valid with respect to some of the conclusions and statements that are being made in these documents, only because I feel that it's important to ask questions, especially if there's misclarity or unclarity in the documentation itself. So let's go through and we'll see. I'll just read it out and make my comments as I go through. Okay, is there a God? Does God exist? Here are 6 straightforward reasons to believe that God is really there. Okay, well, they're making very explicit declarations that would lead you to believe that's, for me, when I read that, I sit there and say, okay, well, you're going to be providing concrete information that I can accept, for lack of a better way of indicating that a a understanding, I guess, to some extent, and presentation of a factual explanation is provided for the belief in a God. That's what I would expect to read, but I'm going to feel that it's probably going to be standard, statements that are made for this kind of thing, which again don't really focus heavily on what I would expect to see. But anyways, let's read it. Just once, wouldn't you love for someone to simply show you the evidence for God's existence? Yes. No arm twisting, no statements of you just have to believe. Well, here is an attempt to candidly offer some of the reasons which suggest that God exists. It can't be a suggestion. It's got to be a proof if you want to be explicit with the terminology that you're reading and the terminology that you would want to see with respect to this declaration. So they're saying suggest God exists. Well, to me, that's not proof that I would accept. Okie dokie. But first, consider this. When it comes to the possibility of God's existence, the Bible says that there are people who have seen sufficient evidence, but they have suppressed the truth about God. Okay, not really sure what that means. On the other hand, for those who want to know God, if He is there, He says, when you seek me with all your heart, I will be found by you. Okay. Before you look at the facts surrounding His existence, ask yourself if God does exist. Would I want to know Him? Here then are some reasons to consider. Okay, well, let's just see what they say. Does God exist? Consider our earth. Many examples show God's design could be given, possibly with no end, but here are a few. The earth. Its size is perfect. I am not sure what they mean by that. If someone views this video, if they don't join me here, and they can give clarity about what that means. I don't know what that means. The earth, its size is perfect. I'll read the rest because maybe they're going to give an explanation of that. The Earth's size and corresponding gravity hold a thin layer of mostly nitrogen and oxygen gases only extending about 50 miles above the Earth's surface. If Earth were smaller, an atmosphere would be impossible. Not really sure about that. Like the planet Mercury, if Earth were larger, its atmosphere would contain free hydrogen, like Jupiter. Earth is the only known planet equipped with an atmosphere of the right mixture of gases to sustain plant, animal, and human life. From my understanding, the investigation they're doing with exoplanets, they are starting to make conclusions of planets out there that are, roughly the size of the Earth. I think one was actually like 2 to 3 times the size of the Earth, but they dictated the fact that, it did have the right construction for a don't want to say I don't want to give an aspect of saying it can contain life, just the aspect that it contained the right ingredients for the potential for life to exist on those planets. So that statement there, I'm not really sure if they're making a concrete statement or as a general statement. The Earth is located at the right distance from the Sun. Well, there's a whole range that they say Venus and Mars are also both in the habitable zone. So I would not say that Earth is the only one in our solar system that's in that area, and we can see that the two other planets in that area have resulted in very different, planets where at least, life corresponding to, let's say, what we believe life is, or the aspect of, the ability for life to exist, is much more difficult on those planets. We still don't know because we haven't done the level of investigation on those planets to concretely conclude whether life exists or doesn't exist. Like Venus, its pressure is just so high. We just don't have the equipment yet to really go down there in investigation. And Mars is just the aspect of we are setting ships there, for lack of a better way of saying that, like the explorers and that the robotic, robotic machinery that they're sending there to do investigations. But again, it's all based on obviously the amount and capability of exploration that those robots can do, which obviously is not going to be as flexible as, let's say, a human being. So the aspects of determination is a bit more complex. But anyways, they're still investigating to some extent, and we'll know in the future. Any closer and we would burn up. Even a fraction variance in the Earth's position to the sun would make life on Earth impossible. I'd have to talk to an astrobiologist or an astronomer about that, because like I said, well, here, because I'm saying stuff, and let's just see what they say, because I want to see what is the habitable region in the solar system. From what I read, that's Venus to Mars are in that area. The habitable zone, also known as a Goldilocks zone, is the region around a star where a planet could potentially have liquid water on the surface under different conditions suitable for life as we know it. In our solar system, habitable zone extends from just beyond the orbit of Venus to roughly the orbit of Mars. Okay, so that's what I'm reading here in this aspect of, this most likely is a